Hello everyone, welcome back. Hope you guys doing good. In the last video, Dr. Guo and I introduced the basic situation of the Guangdong, Hong Kong, Macau, Great Bay Area. Today we're gonna be more specific on one of the leading cities in this area, which is Shenzhen. Any metropolitan can be observed from many perspectives. For Shenzhen, we took this one a center of manufacture of science and technology. This is probably the most prominent characteristics of Shenzhen. Okay, today's presentation will cover 4 sections. The first one, I would like to explain what makes Shenzhen outstanding. After that, Dr. Guo gonna demonstrate the high technology giants in Shenzhen and the high-end service in Shenzhen. After that, I'm gonna focus on the layout of new energy vehicles and the smart cities, which is also a very which is developed in Shenzhen dramatically in recent years. And finally, we bring 2 discussion topics as the end of today's presentation. Okay, section 1, what makes Shenzhen special? Before going to the details of Shenzhen, I would like to emphasize that the development of Shenzhen and Guangzhou, Guangzhou is also another major city in the Great Bay Area. We're going to cover this city in our next video. The development of Shenzhen and Guangzhou needs to be understood within the framework of the Great Bay Area, will consistently contribute to China's national strategy. To be more specific, the Belt and Road Initiative and the dual circulation strategy. I believe most of you more or less heard about the Belt and Road Initiative from international news. The Belt and Road Initiative is a long-term policy and investment program aiming on infrastructure development and circulation of the economic integration of countries along the road and the historic Silk Road. I put a picture here for you guys to have a more visible impression of what is the Belt and Road Initiative. Let's find out Guangzhou first. We can ship our manufacturing products from Guangzhou to Singapore, where covers Southeast Asia, and then to India, to the North Africa and Eastern Africa, and ultimately going to the East Europe. This is the Maritime Silk Road Initiative. Alternatively, we can departure from Xi'an to Urumqi, which is the Xinjiang Uyghur Autonomous Region of China, then to the Middle Asia, heading to the north part of Europe, which is Moscow, and eventually going to the East Europe. This is the Silk Road Economic Belt. Similar to the importance of the Belt and Road Initiative, the dual circulation strategy is also a very prominent national strategy of China. The dual circulation strategy is a 2-pronged development strategy that seeks to support China's domestic demand as well as create to export market. This plan aims to create conditions that allow domestic and foreign market to balance each other. Again, I put a picture here. On the left, we got an internal circle. We got plenty of important tasks to do, which including increasing the role of the customer, the technological advertisement, the high-end manufacturing and service. And on the left, we have the external circle, which covering the further trade integration, economic reform, and the liberation, the capital account opening, the renminbi internationalization. In the middle, which is the key here, is the Hong Kong and China's other free trade zones, which can bring these two circles together and balance them. Okay, actually, apart from the hard power, the JBA is also the docking area where the system, the rules, the market, and China's internal and external economic circles are integrated. The construction of the JBA is very much conducive to the promoting the interaction between the internal and external circles of China's economy, and the construction is related to China's further development. However, not all the news are good news. Last year, China launched the 2020 census, trying to capture the demographic trends of this country. The conclusion of this census as follows. First, we having an aging population. Secondly, the labor surplus of China has peaked, and it will decrease inevitably in the future. And lastly, we have the low validity. Okay, this is some references of this 2020 census. Okay, let's move to this bar chart here. We get three groups. The young group whose age is under 14 years old, and the labor force group whose age is between 15 to 64 years old, and the elderly people who is about 65 years old. Apparently, we are having less young people and more elderly people. Although at this time, China still have abundant labor force. I have many specific numbers which I put them in the manuscript of this presentation. After that, you guys can look at it by yourselves. Okay, let's see how old is China's population. We got the median age of the major economies all over the world. Like Japan has the eldest age, followed by Germany and Korea. China about in the middle, which have an average 38 years old, and the minimum age of Chinese people is 37 years old. Under these circumstances, we can say that JBA is arguably the youngest urban cluster in China. At the same time, Beijing is restricting the scale of its urban development, and Shanghai has the eldest population, which also means the comparative advantage of the JBA. Yeah, again, we label where these cities are to give you a more visible impression of this important economic zones in China. In the north, we have the Hong Kong, Macau, Guangdong, Great Bay Area. Okay, let's focus on Shenzhen itself. The legend of Shenzhen has been enjoying the favorable timing and the geographical, political, and human conditions. Timing different from Guangzhou, where it has the business history for more than 2,000 years. Shenzhen was the negligible fishing village before China's reform and opening up in the late 1980s. At the beginning of the reform and opening up, a pilot is needed. Shenzhen, which has no historical burden, is the most suitable one to take this opportunity. The geographic conditions, being close to Hong Kong means facilitating the entering of talent, capital, and technology from Hong Kong. These input variables have a decisive role in the earlier stage of Shenzhen's development. Okay, again, this is a map of the GBA. Let's see. Hong Kong is here, and Hong Kong is surrounded by other GBA cities, which means Hong Kong's financial and technological advantage can easily projecting to other major cities of this area. And we got the political conditions, which is another very favorable variable of Shenzhen. Out of the provincial to municipal governing structure, Shenzhen and other 4 cities, including Dalian, Qingdao, Ningbo, and Xiamen, are so-called 计划单列市, means the city specifically designated in the city plan. Similar to the concept of charter cities in the United States, 计划单列市 enjoys independent budget statute, or we can understood it as that they are the cities with economical planning directly supervised by the state council in the context of China. And finally, we got the human resources. In the early days of Shenzhen, so many young people are not very happy with their life in their hometowns. So they moved to Shenzhen to capture the new opportunity, which brings so much talent and to Shenzhen, which offering a diversified talent pool that can meet the various needs of the economic development of Shenzhen. Okay, this is the first section of our presentation. Let's move to the next section, the high technology giants and high-end service in Shenzhen. Okay, for this part, we would like to invite Dr. Guo.
Hello, everyone. Dr. Zhang has walked you through the historical development of Shenzhen. So on that basis, I want to introduce to you some high-tech companies in Shenzhen. Instead of giving you a laundry list of the technological giants in the city, I think it's better to have a more tangible outlook on the most eye-catching companies, including big ones and small ones, each in different areas. First, some background knowledge about Shenzhen is necessary. As we all know, Shenzhen has been a frontier of China's economic reform since 1979. And Shenzhen really started to boom as an outsource center. Its capital accumulation heavily relied on what we call 3+1 trading mix. That is, processing, assembly on provided parts, processing with given materials, and compensation trade. The 3+1 trading mix led to the emergence of the world's biggest electronic market, Huaqiangbei, where you can buy phones with extra functions and usually unconventional designs. About 15 to 20 years ago, Shenzhen was really famous or notorious for Shanzhai, the Chinese nickname for fake product. But now Shenzhen has transformed itself from an original equipment manufacturer into a technology and innovation hub. So there are 5 companies I want to introduce to you today. They are Tencent, BYD, DJI, Royal, and Marlon Technology. First, Tencent. Tencent was founded in 1998 by Pony Ma and 4 other Shenzhen University classmates. It is one of the most prestigious tech companies in China, second nationally only to China Mobile in market cap. It is the second biggest tech company by turnover, behind only Huawei. Tencent has a market cap of $750 billion, making it the most valuable company in Asia. The most famous product of Tencent, as you can see, is WeChat, the Chinese equivalent of Facebook. Apart from social media, Tencent is also a key player in a wide range of internet-related services and products, including, to name just a few, video gaming, online payment, entertainment, and most recently, artificial intelligence. Second, BYD. BYD, which stands for Build Your Dreams, was founded by Wang Chuanfu in 1995 as a rechargeable battery maker. In 2003, Wang added a car business to the company. The idea was simple. An electronic vehicle equals a bigger battery and 4 wheels, right? That idea was brilliant, and it proved strategically crucial for BYD. 15 years later, BYD has evolved into the world's leading new energy vehicle manufacturer. Now BYD is second worldwide, only to Tesla. Besides, BYD still produces around half of the world's mobile phone batteries. Third, DJI. DJI is the world's leading drone manufacturer. Its founder, here, Wang Tao, a Hangzhou native who studied at Hong Kong University of Science and Technology, was not good at study, according to his professors. But Wang built his own drone in his dormitory. In 2006, he moved to Shenzhen, set up DJI, and became a global success 7 years later with the company's Phantom drone. Wang is an example of entrepreneurship, the practice to turn existing technology into marketable product. Drone was first invented by the British Air Force in 1935. Like computer, drone originated as a military equipment. What Wang did to the drone is similar to what Steve Jobs did to PC, to make it more accessible, both in terms of price and usage, to the consumer market. For many years, DJI is the only international player in the consumer drone market. It now has around 76% of the US consumer drone market and 70% of the global market. Fourth, Royal. Royal designs and makes flexible screens for smartphones, sensors, and other devices. Founded in 2012 by 3 former Stanford University students, Liu Zihong, Yu Xiaojun, and Wei Peng. It released the world's first folding phone in 2018. Since then, Royal has raised around 1.4 billion US dollars in venture capital funding from both Chinese and foreign investors, among them IDG Capital Partners and Nice Investment Group, to develop its organic light emitting diode technology. One of the most interesting products Royal is selling is RoWrite, a unique pad that allows you to write on a piece of paper and convert your writing into your phone or computer via the app. Surprisingly, the device is highly affordable. You can pick one up for less than 600 RMB. Imagine schools starting to use this for teaching. Finally, Marlon Technology. Marlon Technology develops artificial intelligence computer vision technologies for the world's largest retailers. Marlon Technology uses deep neural network machine learning to recognize and identify products without using barcodes. This enables faster checkout and better security. Founded in 2014 by Huang Dinglong and mascot, both former colleagues at Microsoft Research in Beijing. The company has raised more than $40 million in venture capital funding and has a partnership with Accenture. It is worth noting that Marlon Technology has been selected by major consulting firms like KPMG as leading in reducing shrinkage, that is, inventory loss, and improving the customer experience at in-store self-service systems. As proven in Walmart stores, the self-services weighing shopping experience has improved for customers by reducing transaction times by 40% on average. Again, imagine this being used in every retail store in the world.
Thank you very much, Dr. Guo. Let's move to the third section of this presentation, which is layout of the new energy vehicles and the smart cities. For this part, I bring you guys a very important example here, the cooperation between BYD and Toyota. On March 25, 2021, BYD Toyota Electrical Vehicle Technology Corporation Limited was officially registered and established in Shenzhen. This also means that the joint venture between BYD and Toyota may have entered the substantive construction phase. Okay, I put these two pictures. For the first one is a typical BYD car, and this one is a typical Toyota car. Well, let's put it simple. Now Toyota and BYD established the BYD Toyota Electrical Technological Corporation in Shenzhen and jointly developed intellectual electrical vehicles and plans to launch new vehicles to the Chinese market between 2025. Okay. This is a very significant cooperation, impress the market not only in China but all over the world. But why this cooperation can be reached? Because this is a multiple beneficial cooperation. BYD is one of the pioneering players in the field of electrical vehicles in China, while Toyota is the world's largest car brand by sales. So why this significant cooperation between the Japanese giant and the Chinese pioneering vehicle companies can be reached? Actually, this, as I mentioned, this is multiple beneficial. The cooperation between these two giants, according to the analysts of the professionals in China's auto industry and investment circles, on one hand, this cooperation means that Toyota values BYD's battery technology. On the other hand, it means the attractiveness of the immeasurable value of the massive amount of data that they can collect from the Chinese market. Why China is able to offer such massive amount of data? This is largely contributed by China's present efforts on improving digital infrastructure for smart cities. In the context of China, the government usually authorizes the technology firms to develop digitalized public service system. Then the government and the entrepreneurs can collect data from the system by different permissions. In this field, among many Chinese cities like Hangzhou and Shenzhen, where the technology giants Alibaba and Huawei are located respectively, maintain their leading position. Section 4. In Section 3, I bring you guys an example introducing the cooperation between BYD and Toyota. Why Toyota are enthusiastic to this cooperation? One of the major reasons is that BYD can collect so many Chinese users' data. What's going on in China also bring us arguable topic, which is compared with China's massive use of users' data for commercial development. The General Data Protection Regulation, which legislated by European Union, has much stricter regulation on data privacy. Which module do you think is better and why? Please associate this question with your experiences in your country and in your city. Thank you. Okay, let's move to the second discussion topic. This topic actually is inspired by a question of an Indian friend who concerns how migrant workers access into the social insurance system of the city where they are employed. Well, I have to say that countries in the world are at a different stage of digitalization. So the topic here we give you guys is how is your country or your city doing in this field, and what it is going to do in the foreseeable future. If you come from a giant country like the China, India, or even America, we have different situations in different parts of our country. While some Chinese cities, such as the Shenzhen, Guangzhou in the GBA, are rapidly entering the stage of smart cities. Some other Chinese cities are encountering the problems that the Indian friends have facing too. So what is your personal experiences in this field? We really want to hear your voice. Thank you.